first card you have you passed is the Star. Yeah, this is the most beautiful, beautiful card. I love this card. And sometimes it looks like this woman is a little bit vulnerable because she's obviously naked. She's by herself. So you'd see a naked woman by herself would be quite vulnerable outside. And also the way we're looking at her, we're looking from up above. So it's almost like we're spying on her. We're not doing that on purpose, but that's kind of the position we're at. So, she can appear to be a bit vulnerable sometimes, but she's very, very strong, actually. She doesn't look a bit, she's very strong, deceptively strong. Because there's an ibis on this card, this bird, just by her elbow. And ibis are extremely resilient birds. So she's very resilient. That's how this woman is. And I think there's someone who didn't recognize your strength and your resilience. They didn't realize how strong you were, or are. You're very strong. And you're naturally very, very, very creative. So what I'm seeing here is you just go with the flow of things. You go with where you feel. And I think for some people that can look like a bit of a weakness, because some people are very dogged with the way they go about their life. They're like, I'm going to control this, I'm going to control that. And you've got the Emperor right there. And, that's the opposite of the Star card. He's someone who's like, right, I can control my life. Maybe these are people in finance, I'm imagining, or economists and people like that. And they're like, right, I can control the way people spend their money. I can control the world. I can do this. Obviously, these kinds of people are realizing at this point in time that you can't do that the universe just goes the way it goes. And that's where you thrive. You go with the flow. And that's your strength. Huge strength. Very, very strong. And so that's how you are as a Pisces. You go with the flow. Very, very, very flexible. And the other thing I'm getting here is, this is a very, very intuitive card. And I think with this point in time, with this thing that's going on around us right now, that I can't mention the name of it on YouTube, or they throw me off, but you know what we're talking about. I think you had a feeling. I really, really think you had a feeling a few weeks before this actually came out, a few weeks before the lockdown, maybe even a month, 2 months before this, you had a feeling something wasn't quite right. The atmosphere wasn't quite right. And I think I got this in one of your readings. I think I remember this. It was a long, long time ago, a few months ago maybe, a couple of months ago. And you were like, something's not right. It feels different. The atmosphere feels different. If you can find where that reading is, I don't know which one it is. It's definitely Pisces. And you were thinking, something doesn't feel right in the atmosphere. Something is different. I feel different. Everything feels different. I'm about to ascend. I'm about to change. But it's not just me. The whole atmosphere feels different. I think you sensed that this particular point in time in history right now was going to happen. Maybe you realized it. Maybe it was just a subconscious feeling. So I'm getting that view. And so you're so intuitive. You're so strong. You're very, very flexible as well. So you roll with the flow, or you roll with the punches, or go with the flow. I'm getting my two sayings mixed up there. You just roll with things. You go with things. Go with the flow. And I'm seeing a particular person here, and they didn't realize how strong you are. Even to this day, I don't think they do. And I think this is an axe. I think this is an axe, and they don't know how strong you are. And I think they thought, oh, they'll never cope without me. I'll leave them, and they won't, because they're this kind of flowy, creative person. And I'm this big, strong person, and they'll never ever cope without me. Well, you are. You're coping perfectly well without them. And you're thriving. You're thriving without this person if this is you. You really are. You need to be really proud of yourself, because you really had this person around you. They really, really were a problem for you. I think they strung you along as well. I'm getting that as well here. And without them, you're doing perfectly well. You really are. You're probably not exactly where you want to be yet, because the star's all about dreams and hopes. Lots and lots of dreams, dreaming about where you want to be. But it looks like you're on the way. You're on the way to where you want to be. And the thing about you is you're very patient and you're very resilient as well. I'm getting that here as well, obviously, with this ibis. I won't talk about the same thing over and over again. So there's something you've worked on. And I think you've worked out how to do a part of this. It's like you've set something up for yourself. You've set it up. You're ready to keep going with whatever that is. And it's starting to move forward. That's what I'm seeing. But I'm seeing two parts of this certain thing that you're doing, if this is resonating. I know this is quite specific. So there's something you want to do. It might be a business, so you've set up the first part of that. It's working for you really well. The second part, you've got a lot of questions about. That's what I'm seeing. So you're probably still wondering about this. And what this is telling you is it's going to come to you. The star can be an idea, it could be a revelation that comes to you. So that's going to come to you. So be open to this. I know you are already. Meditate if that's something you do. Go out into nature like this woman is. You know, she's by herself. She's in this beautiful scene. I'm not recommending you go out naked like her. You might be arrested. But yeah, you will get there. You'll find out whatever this answer, this puzzle piece is. You'll find that out. Excuse me. So the next card you have your past is the Knight of Cups. Right. So, okay, before I say anything about this, there's just something else I'm seeing in the star. You know how to take lots and lots of little tiny steps to get to exactly where you want to go. I'm just looking at all these little stars going around in a path toward the big one. And so you are. Keep on going on these little steps and you will get to the big one. That's another thing I'm seeing there. You know, I just want to encourage you, and I just saw that and I just wanted to say that. So, okay, so with this Knight, this is about love. So this is about this relationship again, this person that was kind of not really understanding how strong you are, underestimating you. They're still feeling like that about you. That's what I'm seeing. They're probably thinking, oh, this axe, they're hopeless. They'll never do this without me. I'm getting that kind of thing. I think you had a long history with them. There's a little bit of arrogance around them as well. It's sort of a quiet arrogance, excuse me. Sorry about that, headphone wearers. So they were arrogant, but they weren't loud with it, I don't think. It was kind of this little, you know, I know what I'm doing, I'll tell you what to do, that kind of thing. I know the best way. I've got that coming up with them as well. And it's kind of like everyone should defer to me. I know the answers, a little bit like that. So I'm getting a bit of backwards and forwards here as well. So what it looks like is there was definitely a breakup here between you. Obviously, if this is your ex, there was at one time. But then after that breakup, I think you still miss them, and I think there were lots of promises that happened after that. So maybe they gave you the impression that one day you'll get back together again sometime, and they're kind of dragging their heels on this, and you're like, well, where are we going? Are we actually going to get back together? What's going to happen? And they're kind of leading you along. So I hope that wasn't you, but that's what I'm getting for someone who's listening to this. And if you look at this Knight, he's so handsome. He looks so handsome. And, you know, he's got this shiny suit of armour on and looks so promising. If I saw him coming up to me, I'd be like, wow. But he might look promising, but he never actually gets to this river. If you look at that, you can see this river right at the bottom. And the river is obviously where the water is, where the emotion is, and it's where the depth is. Yeah, it's where the depth is. You're the depth. You're very deep. You're the water. You are the depth, you're Pisces, and they didn't reach you. They didn't see your depth. They didn't see how deep you are. They didn't see how strong you are. They didn't see any of that. And, you know, from what I'm seeing in the star card, obviously, emotionally, you took a hit from this. Obviously, you're a very emotional person. You're a very deep person. But in other ways, you've come out so much better without this person, so much stronger. And you'll keep moving forward. You'll keep moving forward. And they didn't see that in you. They didn't see your strength. They didn't see your resilience. And again, I don't think they've seen that yet. I really don't. They might in the future. I hope they do. But they haven't realised that about you yet. But it doesn't matter what they think. I don't care what they think. You're getting to where you want to go. You're getting to where you want to go. You're strong. And you're going to get there. So that's what I'm seeing there. So with the Nine of Swords, okay, so when this happened, when the separation happened, it was a while ago, might have been over a year ago even, because if you look at this quilt, it's got all the signs of the zodiac on the blue squares, and sometimes, you know, well, not sometimes, it means, you know, each one means a month of the year, obviously, so a year, so it might have been a year or more, maybe. So again, with this backwards and forwards where they led you along, you felt very, very trapped, like this poor woman for a long, long time, sitting there hoping. And then there's this big crash that happened, I think, a big, big crash. That's what it feels like anyway. And, you know, you weren't ready for this big crash because you were led along and you thought something was going to happen and then suddenly they disappeared. Said, no, right at the last minute. Really cruel, really, really cruel behaviour if that's you. And you're over this now. Obviously, you're out of this. It was a year ago. But I think there might still be something that you might not have quite healed from yet. Might be something they said. Because it's when someone's leading you along like that, and it went on and on and on. It might have been going on for the year after that. It might have been a year, and then it was going on that year after. And, you know, you really, really fought for people. And you're very, very loyal. And I think they knew that as well. So... yeah, it's almost like the way they dealt with you was the worst thing about this whole thing. Very, very cruel. And I think you think this person's very cruel. You know, but the good thing about this is, there is a good thing about this, you know, that's something you've really learned. It's this wasted time. You wasted all this time on them, I think. And now you're kind of like, no more wasting time. You know, if I'm going to be with someone, if they start messing me around or if they start saying, oh, I'm not sure if I want a relationship, that kind of thing. We've heard it all before. That's when you're going to walk. If you hear anything like that, any hint of that, you're not having any part of that. So if you're still single, if you're with someone in the future, if they start saying things like, oh, I don't know if I want to I like you, but I don't know if I want a relationship. Maybe sometime in the future, maybe next month, you'll be saying, bye-bye, goodbye. That's what I'm getting now. And you're so strong now as well. And speaking of being strong, we've got the Emperor here in your present. And look at all these cards here. They're amazing cards, really fantastic cards. So you're ready for this thing. You're ready for this thing that I'm seeing in the Star card, this big dream that you got. And what I'm seeing with these cards is you're absolutely going to be able to do that. You can see that here. And yeah, you had to get through all that. You had to get through all that to get to this strength and this power that you've got now. And now you're ready. You're ready to move forward with this thing. Definitely a work thing or a business thing, I think. And again, you've got the Star. You're a Pisces. It feels like it's something quite personal to you. It might be something creative. I've seen that in the Star as well. So something personal, something creative, something very meaningful to you. You've already started half of this. I keep on seeing that, but you've got another part that you're still not sure about. And you kind of started, but you're on your way. I'm seeing that. Now, it might be that you have to do other work as well while you're doing this, which makes sense just for now. So, you know, if this is you, if you're doing this other job, it feels like, well, you know, maybe it's not my favourite kind of job in the world, but I need to do this just for now, just to get my money up for now. So if that's you, you'll probably be in this job for a while, I'm seeing. That's fine. And in this climate, you know, everyone's hanging on to what they've got. If they've got a job, doesn't matter what it is, they're all hanging on. And, you know, with the Emperor, he just works. He just works really hard. He rolls his sleeves up. He gets on with things. And he's a boss. He's a boss. So he's in control of what happens. And that's how you feel right now, I think. And, you know, I think you'll stick with this for a while. I don't think it's where you picture yourself in the future because, you know, especially with what I'm seeing in the Star card. Okay, there's something else here. It feels like help, advice. This is someone who's really, really confident. They might have some kind of experience in this thing you want to do, actually. You might come across this person or you might be introduced to them. And what I'm getting here is, yeah, this is a really strong message. Listen to them. Listen to this person. If you know who this is, really listen to this person. But listen to your intuition as well. That's the number one thing you need to do. Your strength is where your intuition is. As a Pisces, that's where your intuition, that's where your huge strength is. I told you I was stumbling my words. So what I'm trying to say is your strength is in your intuition, in listening to yourself. So listen to what they have to say to you, but listen to yourself first. Run it by your own kind of, filter system, if that makes sense, before you go and make a decision. But listen to what they have to say, because they can really, really help you. They can really help you, whoever this is. So it might be someone through this job, actually. Might be someone through this job. I don't know. But if you know who this is, really listen to them. So the next card you have your present is the Ace of Pentacles. Okay, so you've got this, you've got the Sun. So if you've got those two together, everything here is telling you that you're going to be able to do this thing in the Star card. And, again, the Star can be all about wishes, dreams. I have a dream. I want this dream. I want to do this dream. I want to really fulfill this wish. And this is about dreams manifesting on Earth. You're going to manifest what you want. You can see that. You've got the Ace of Pentacles right in the center of the whole reading. And that's really, really important. So I just want to point that out to you. Now, it feels like you've got some kind of, because I was seeing this before, you've got a plan set up. So with this plan, it might be that you're a little bit set in your ways. Maybe you've set something up and you've sort of got it all mapped out ahead of you. It's like, I've got this worked out. I know what I want to do. I'm just going to set it up. It's all going to work out. So if that's you, if that makes sense to you, you might have to take a different path to what you were thinking about, or a new way. You might have to think of a new way of doing this that you haven't thought of before. Because if you look at the path on this card, it's a beautiful golden path, but it's a very, very narrow path, very narrow. So not many people fit on this path. So what that tells me is it's some kind of unusual thing, an unusual way, an unusual direction that not many people go on. So the way to this thing is to think about something quite different, quite unusual, very, very unique. That's what's going to set you on this path. And yeah, it's all about going against the crowd. And that's what successful people do. They go against the crowd. So maybe you'll have to rethink something. There's something you might want to go back to the drawing board with, because this is a white hand, and that represents, it can represent sometimes a clean slate, a new way, going right back to the start again. So I think you might have to go right back to the start with something all over again and redo something, rebuild something up again. And I think that's how you're going to get to this gift, this beautiful coin that's on this card. But two things, you're going to have to go in the opposite way to where everyone else is going, and you're going to have to go right back to the start and maybe start something all over again. But it's going to be well worth it to do this. And don't think, oh, I'm going backwards. Don't ever think that. Don't ever think that. You're building a new thing up, and it's the right way to go to get you to, where you want to go, to fulfill this dream. Absolutely beautiful. And with the Sun card here, again, another big, huge sign. You're going to be able to do this because this is about a breakthrough. There's a wall here, and this child's broken through this wall, come out the other side. So, you're going to see this breakthrough. You're going to be able to build this up again. You're going to be able to take this path. You're going to have this thing in your mind. It's like, oh, I know what I'll do. I know what I'll do. And then that's what you're going to do. So that's what I'm seeing here. Okay. Right. Okay. There's something here. I always get nervous when I see these things. I don't want to upset anyone. I really don't want to upset anyone. Again, this is this is quite specific. It's a message. It's a message from someone who's watching over you. If this is for you, if you don't like these kinds of messages, please skip this bit if you want to. I don't mind. But this is for a message for someone. It might be from someone who's not on this earth anymore. So if you don't like these messages, please skip forward. Okay. Now, I'm getting an older man. There's a problem in a marriage. There's an apology. There's an apology from an older man. There might not be the sort of person who usually apologizes. So it's not a big full-on, it's not like, I'm sorry. That's not what they do. But they feel as if they have some regrets. There's something that happened around money, I think. Yeah, there's a regret around something about that. Now, okay, there might be a military connection here, some kind of military connection. There's lots and lots of regrets here. I'm getting two families. So I don't know if I had two families, might be a step family. They might have had two different wives and had two separate families. It might be that. They regret a lot of things. It feels like an apology. Again, it's not a full apology, but I think that's the closest you ever will get from this person in terms of an apology. That's what I'm getting. They're a very kind of stern, they're an older man. They're not the kind of person who apologizes. They're not the kind of person who is very emotional, because I'm seeing military here as well. So if you know who that is, this is someone who's watching over you. This is someone who really cares about you. They have regrets. And that's what that message is, if that makes any sense to you. Yeah, again, I don't want to upset anyone, so I'm going to move on from that now. I'm not going to say any more about that. Okay. Right, so, all right, so the first card you have for your future is the Three of Pentacles. Yeah, this feels so different. This future bit feels completely different. Okay, so before I say anything, the first thing I have to say is it's not going to resonate with everyone. I just want to clear that up, because there's a little bit of negativity. Obviously, you've got the Three of Swords here. Okay, now I'm going to be really honest. I'm looking at these two cards. I've got this one and the Three of Swords. And you've got all these fantastic cards. You've got all these fantastic cards in your present. Lots of success. So you do have success. So don't look at these and go, oh no, there's no success. There is absolutely success. But what I'm seeing here is, before you get there, it might get a little bit worse for you before it gets better, probably financially, with these 3 coins and the Three of Pentacles. Now, I know this is in the future. All the amazing cards are in the present. Again, that doesn't mean it's going to be terrible in the future financially. What it does mean to me, this is what I'm seeing, is that if you've got this regular job that I was seeing in the Emperor, there might be a few cuts to that. It might be that you have to take on less hours. It might be that you do end up with a little bit less pay here. It's something like that. You know, when I look at this, when I look at these 3 coins, I'm getting that old saying, you know, I'll drive it till the wheels fall off. I don't know if you've heard of that. It's very old. So that might be the feeling that you've got about this job. It's like, I'll stay there for as long as I can to get the money, to earn as much as I can, because I've got my eye on the prize. I've got my eye on the Ace of Pentacles. So I'll ride this until the wheels fall off. And okay, so the other thing in this card, in the Three of Pentacles, is obviously this is a meeting with these 3 people here.